In this video, I will be opening a package that contains something special. This box contains an ant colony that will be the future of this channel and is a species that I have wanted to keep for a long time. I also ordered a new desk and a new tripod for filming, and at the time of this recording everything is set up and all of my future videos going forward will be filmed using that new equipment. Now it's time to address something that I am sure a lot of you have been wondering. It has been 9 months since my last video, and without going into too much detail I will explain why. For many months I believed that I was going to go to college somewhere where I would have to leave my ants behind and give up my YouTube channel, and therefore I lost my motivation to upload videos. Things have changed now to where I am attending college at home and I am able to keep my ants and continue uploading, so now my motivation is stronger than ever to upload more videos for you all more often and of better quality than ever before. And now it's time for the moment that we've all been waiting for. Did the colony survive the shipping process? From first glance, it looks like the ants made it okay. They are still alive, so that's a good sign, but they are undoubtedly stressed from what they have endured during shipping and from all of the vibrations they must have experienced. This species of ant, forgive my pronunciation, is Camponotus chromioides, and they are some of the prettiest Camponotus ants here in North America. This colony has 8 workers, with more workers on the way, and they seem to be a really healthy colony founded from a queen that had her nuptial flight earlier this year. Before this colony was shipped to me, the water was drained from the test tube to prevent any flooding that could possibly kill the colony in shipping, but the cotton was left moist. The cotton also does seem to be getting pretty moldy, so it's about time for them to have a test tube change. One of my favorite ant products that I have used for years without failure is the test tube portal from Ants Canada. I am unfortunately not sponsored by them, but I do believe this to be the perfect thing to introduce to a newly founded ant colony such as this one. It allows for a bit of exploration from the workers without it being too overwhelming for them, while also providing a much less stressful way of feeding the colony versus removing the cotton of a test tube and then risking the workers escaping while also stressing out the colony unnecessarily. It also allows for additional test tubes to be connected to the portal that the colony can use and also choose to move into if they wish. They can use it for an extra water source or an extra sugar water source, which provides a lot of versatility. One of the biggest mistakes that an ant keeper can make that I am guilty of is trying to force move a colony into a new setup or stressing about a colony not moving into a new test tube or nest. Instead of trying to get the colony to move out of the nest using heat or light, I'm going to leave them be and wait for them to move themselves. I know that this new test tube has a fresh water supply, so they can find it and there is no need to worry about the colony not instantly moving into the new test tube. Another big mistake that ant keepers make is creating a new test tube setup without taking the proper precautions to sterilize their hands and other equipment while creating the test tube setup. I always make sure to use distilled water when filling up my test tubes and always making sure that my hands and the test tube itself are sterile. Now that the new test tube is created, I can attach it to the test tube portal using this tubing and the ants have very easy access to it. Whether they choose to move into it or not, it acts as a good water source for them regardless. Now it's time to attach the test tube with the colony inside of it, which in this case is a lot easier said than done. Some test tubes are different sizes and are not always snug and do not always quite line up perfectly with the tubing, so sometimes you have to get creative and improvise. So, here what I am doing to solve this issue is grabbing a piece of cotton and forming it around the tubing so that the test tube can then fit snugly against it. As you can see though, this takes quite a bit of work and some very steady hands when doing this. Especially when you do this with a test tube colony, because one wrong move can lead to the colony stressing out even more than this process already is, and or workers running all over my table out of the test tube, which is always a bad situation. Luckily, in this case, everything went smoothly, and now this colony has access to a whole new world that they never knew existed. For the workers' entire lives, all they ever knew was their test tube that was blocked off by that piece of cotton at the end, so they are very cautious and very strategically checking out their new environment. This species of ant, in general, unlike, let's say, Lacey's brevicornis, are very bold ants, and they are not shy in the slightest. So once they realized that there was no threat opposed to them in this new environment, they very quickly found the new test tube and got a nice drink of water. Now that this colony has had time to explore their new outworld, I think that it's time that we give this colony their first meal under my care. Here I have some ant jelly from the ant keeping depot that all of my ant colonies go crazy for. As the first worker finds the jelly, the news spreads fast to the whole rest of the colony that there are delicious goods right outside of their doorstep, and very quickly more ants come by to partake in the feast. This species is similar to Camponotus noveboracensis, Camponotus nove for short, with the workers having a similar trait of a vibrant red midsection, but this species has a more vibrant red color, and the workers and the majors are bigger than those of Camponotus nove. This queen ant is absolutely massive, and is definitely the biggest ant that I have ever seen in my entire life. And that's coming from someone who has kept Camponotus species for upwards of 5 years. Here you can see one of the workers that returned to the nest after filling her social stomach with ant nectar and feeding the queen some of the jelly. I am very optimistic about the future of this colony, and I'm also confident in my abilities to care for this colony since I have kept Camponotus for many years, and I would consider myself experienced with keeping Camponotus ants. I will post videos on this colony quite often when there is new information to be told about them, and I will plan on switching their setup soon in a future video using a product that I have never before showcased on the channel, so stay tuned for that. I really hope that you all enjoyed my first video back on YouTube after many months. I have made promises in the past that I would come back and that I would post videos more often, but they have not been fulfilled. But now there is nothing stopping me from creating more content for you guys, and I have more passion than ever. With that said, I really hope you all found this video entertaining and informative. Please leave a like on the video if you think that I've earned it, and I hope that you all have an amazing rest of your day. I will see you all next time, and until then, peace.